If you're tuning in, you're at the right spot. But your Dallas Mavericks are down 0-2 when we thought they could split the series. But, I mean, we'll get into it. Should have been a split. But yeah, guys, this is Austin Ollie, a sports podcast brought to you by Bellio Sports. So yeah, Austin, you want to go ahead and plug the socials for those newbies that haven't
Yes,
done it yet?
sir. Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're excited to be back. Make sure on all your Spotify or all your podcast listening platforms, make sure you give us a little subscribe, little rate 5 stars, tell your friends. On Instagram, we are at Austin underscore and underscore Ollie. TikTok at Austin Ollie, all one word. And then Twitter, we're same thing as Instagram at Austin underscore and underscore Ollie. So be sure to check us out. We're dropping some TikToks, dropping some reels, some tweets, some takes. So yeah, guys, make sure you guys check us out, give us a follow, interact with us. We appreciate it. But yeah, man, that's that. How was your weekend? Anything crazy going
Cool.
on?
I was about to say no. We haven't done a weekend recap in a minute.
Yeah, I know it's been a
Kind of
minute.
forgot how this goes. Let me think. Friday
You were a
workout.
hoe on Friday.
Oh, you're right. Austin finally gets the leash taken off and he can go out.
Oh, okay.
And I can't. My leash was too tight that night, so I couldn't get
Yeah,
out of
that's
it.
tough. That's tough.
I'm trying to remember what
Hate
I.
to see it.
Oh, we went to a pizza place in South Lake. I don't know if you ever heard
Ooh.
Taverna Rosa.
Yeah, I think I have.
It was pretty bomb. I fucked with my pizza
Okay,
heavy.
come on now. I like it.
Yeah, that was Friday. Saturday I golfed. I hadn't golfed in a minute. It
Yep.
was pretty good. Some good golf shots here now and there. It's hot again. It's hot, and
Yeah,
when
it's
you're
it's getting
golfing in
warm, dude.
Texas, you can feel it. And then, Saturday I was hauling ass. I was an athlete.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
golfed. Yeah, golfed from 12:10 to like 4:30, whatever. Had me a little pregame McDonald's meal in between to get the carbs up,
That's
and
crazy.
went to go play Sunday League, and it was a must-win game, and 8 of us showed up. Well, 9 of us showed up, and then our coach. Well, it was 8, and our coach was like, "Fine, I'll play because we need players," and he got a red card before the game even started. So I can get into
That's
full detail with that. I don't know if you ever heard. Did you hear my voice memo from Saturday
yeah.
that I sent?
I heard your voice memo. I
Yeah, there
don't
was a
know how
lot.
you
Yeah.
eat a double QPC before
Well, I had a
Sunday. So
10-piece
wild.
nugget. It was a 10-piece nugget. It was carbs, bro. It wasn't a double. It wasn't a double QPC.
Oh, okay. All right, that's
Absolutely not.
understandable then.
No, but
I
it
was
was a
gonna
bunch of
say.
bullshit going on, and then we finally started the game, and then I was holding it down at center back second half, kept a clean sheet,
I
even
mean,
though
we
it was
still lost.
8v11. We lost, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's
No
alright.
playoffs. But yeah, I was out in the sun all day, and
Yeah, I
then
bet.
came home. Yeah, I came home with my family, drank my sorrows away. I really needed that Coors Light. Oof. Then Sunday just church, and then yeah, we went to Texas Live.
Yep.
Saw a Me and Austin got tables each to go watch the Mavs game, and it's okay. But I mean, like again, we'll get to it. But how was your weekend on your side?
Yeah, dude, it was cool. I was working on Friday, so went out to the stockyards with some friends.
Yup.
Saw Raul there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hung out, so it was a good night. It was fun. It was good to kind of get out and kind of hang out with some friends and stuff like that. Saturday, nothing much, dude. Just worked around the house, kind of chilled. Was dog tired. It was like by the time, because I mean, kind of similar, right? I was like working around the house all day Saturday, and then just by the time I got ready to go to bed, I was just like I was toast. And then yeah, obviously Sunday, shoot, really just chilling. Did some like ran some errands, went to the gym, stuff like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
Texas Live, which was cool. So it was fun. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a good time. It was so cool to hang out with friends and enjoy each other's company, which I guess is all it's all about. But
Yeah.
oh, went on stage, which was pretty neat.
I was about to say, yeah. Come on,
So
tell
yeah, I
about the
forgot
gift
about that.
card. Come on now.
Yeah. I got picked for a little dribbling contest. My team cooked it up thanks to a drunk lady, not being
Oh,
able
dude.
to follow directions. She was throwing it back. That was
I
wild.
swear I thought she was working and trying to like show it or give. I thought she was like a personality, like a host. And then I
No,
found
she
out it
was
was
just
actually the person you were going against,
yeah,
and I
she was
felt
just hammered.
so bad for the other people on the team because
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
even
have
think
been
everyone got to
pissed.
go. It was
No,
like by the time
I
she
think
was
we were
finished,
done.
your
Yeah,
last person was going already.
yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, nice little dub. Got a little, I don't know, like a little basketball and then a little $25
Yeah,
gift card to Texas Live, which was big time. So it was fun. It was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, man. Other than that, Really not much. I feel like it's been boring lately, but it's kind of
Yeah, it's
needed.
just the usual, really. Just typical stuff.
Settling
Nothing
into
crazy.
routine, I feel like. I feel like it's just settling
Yeah,
into a
that's what it
routine
is.
finally.
That's what it is. And that's gonna be
So
Fourth
it's
of July
nice.
before you know it, and it's gonna ruin all of it again.
Yeah, it's
So,
true. That's facts. Anyway, but you ready to talk a little Mavs basketball, even though it's not exciting?
no, it's exciting. I mean, your team's in the NBA
Yeah,
Finals. Our team's in the NBA Finals. It's not what we expected. I
yeah,
blame Austin for being
yeah. I know.
very
Just
positive
too
on my end.
optimistic.
It
Yeah,
was, I was being optimistic. I mean, you already made it to the finals. There's not much. I mean, you already made it. You got to be optimistic in
yeah.
that point. So yeah, I mean, first game, I went to Boomer Jacks. That shit was packed out the ass, so that was fun. Or just like in general to
Oh, I
see
bet. Yeah,
everyone hyped about NBA Finals, especially if your team's in it after 12, 13 years of not making it. And Lucas finally get the chance on the biggest stage against his arch nemesis, Jason Tatum. If you want to call him arch nemesis, I mean, I don't know what you want to call him now. We'll get into that. But yeah, I mean, first game, I'll briefly do my points and then you can get to yours.
yeah,
It was just momentum was on their side. Everything was going their way. They were shooting absolutely ridiculous. Kristaps Porzingis, we talked about it last pod. I said there might be a KP game. There's going to be a KP game. I just didn't
and
think it
there
was
it
going to be his
was.
first game. And his first game back,
Yeah,
he was just, holy crap. He was being the unicorn that he was called. He was making crazy shots from I don't even know how far behind the three-point arc. He was making blocks. I mean, props to the Celtics for driving up all these plays so you would get all these mismatches. There was points where Kyrie had to be guarding Porzingis, Josh Green, um, Jalen Hardy. The little bit of time that he had to play, he had to guard him.
yeah.
And you're frustrated and you're yelling at the TV and you're like, why the hell is Kyrie Irving on Kristaps Porzingis? You saw him play here in Dallas. He does that same post-up move where he just whips his elbow in front of your face, but he doesn't even hit you because he's however damn tall he is. And he
Yeah.
was just hitting everything. I think he missed, 2 shots? He had, 20 points first game?
Yeah, he was first game he was 8 of 13, were 20 points, 2 of 4 from three, and then 2 of 2 from free throw. So
Yeah, and then he had 3 blocks too, so that was insane.
yeah,
And then recurrent thing is just free throws. Luka was out there by himself.
it was
It was
horrible.
you knew it was a bad day when Luka had 1 assist on the box score. When was the last time
Yeah,
you had seen Luka done that? I mean, that just shows you. I mean, if you're just box score watching, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Luka, get your team involved." It's like no. There's also another stat now,
uh,
2 games deep, that I think Luka's the only player with multiple threes made in the series so far.
yeah.
Everyone else
It's
is just absolutely stupid. Uh, the way you got to the finals, maybe it seems like lights are too bright, and they can't wait to get home, and that's what it seems like. There wasn't that much panic on me after the first game. Like, yeah, we're getting smacked, but they also brought it back. Second half,
yeah. They
you
run it back a little bit. Yeah,
you ran it back to start towards the end of the second quarter, starting of the third. In between, then you brought the game between, was it 6 or 8?
it was
Let's
8. They got to
see.
8 in the third.
Took that time out and they just went bonkers. Hardy, he looks at 13, but he also wasn't garbage time. Kyrie Irving got 12 points first game, shooting 6 of 19, 32%. Not so Kyrie like. Mentioned it last part is again. I was hoping that the fans and Antrix wouldn't get to him. I mean, if you want to say it
I
did,
can't tell it. I can't tell
clear,
if it is or not.
exactly, because I just don't know if it was him because he was getting some open looks. And props to him. I talked about it last one as well, that he needed to shoot the ball. You saw in other beginnings of other series, like he was just really dishing the ball out. Nothing more of shooting wise, finding a shot. He was still shooting. I mean, yeah, he wasn't making them, but he was still shooting, so that was a good sign. And I thought, okay, I mean, just one bad night, it's not gonna happen again. Transfers over to the second game. Looks even worse. And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, now that makes it 12 straight now that he's lost ever since leaving Boston.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's 12
It's
straight.
just, I think
Yeah.
that like ultimately, I mean, it's hard to win a game when you're right. Like we're a pretty 3-point heavy dependent team, and when it comes, I think you're right, right? Like your biggest names aren't making threes. I mean, Kyrie in the finals is 0 of 12, I think, from three. He's 0 of 8 from three, and he's shooting.
Mm-hmm.
What is he shooting? He's shooting 35%, which just when that's your second scoring option, that's just not going to cut it. I mean, ultimately, Luka's kind of carrying the team, and the only reason why that has been any bit close.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he's averaging 31 when the next closest you got is PJ Washington at 15 and a half, Kyrie at 14, and Daniel Gafford at 10 and a half, which is not going to cut it. I mean, like Kyrie, I think we said it is if Kyrie can get 20 a night, 20, 25 a night, like I think that's what's going to keep you in ball games. I mean, PJ kind of averaging close to that like 16 to 18 range, and then pick your poison between Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. If they can combine for 25 points, I think that's how you win a basketball game. And ultimately, right, like just I don't know if it was to me, I don't think that the atmosphere was something that it was like super hostile or anything like that. I think it was probably
Mm-hmm.
like the Oklahoma City atmosphere was probably the best atmosphere that the Mavs have played against. And I just think ultimately it kind of comes down to the fact that just shots weren't falling. And I think ultimately it's going to happen. It sucks because it's on the biggest stage and it's the
Mm-hmm.
finals. Um, but yeah, man, it's just, I don't really think that like game one, you can really chop anything up. Like it is what it is, right? I mean, the Celtics, they shot, I mean, 38% from three. And I mean, really in the first half, they shot 41% on 11 to 27 shooting. I mean, just a massive first quarter where they just got hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have guys getting hot, man, that just like, if the Mavs could just have one guy that isn't Luka Doncic get hot. I mean, game one, it was Kristaps for them. Game two, it was Drew Holiday. Like they haven't had Derek White get. Derek White's had good games, but he hasn't gotten like crazy hot. Like he had 18 in game two.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Tatum is I think he's shooting. He's averaging 19 field goal, like 19 shots a game, and he's only shooting 32%. Which I mean,
Yeah.
like that's supposedly their best player, right? And he's not
Mm.
doing anything. So it's just, I think ultimately it's just the Mavs just not playing well. And I mean, right, like Luca, Kyrie, PJ, I mean, it's 31, 14, or 15 and a half and 14, whereas like their top five is Jaylen Brown at 21 and a half, Drew Holiday at 19, Jason Tatum at 17, Derek White at 16 and a half. I mean, Kristaps at 16. Like that's five guys that are shooting or that are averaging over 15 points a game. So it's ultimately, I think that was the story of the teams going into the series was the help that each star got. And I want to say Jason Tatum is something like 7-0 when he shoots under 40%. Whereas if Luka shot under 40%, the Mavs are,
Oh, getting blown out.
yeah, getting blown out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it sucks. I think it's degrading, and it's kind of something that you wish like you wouldn't happen. But I think you're right. You kind of said at the beginning too. Is I don't think we were expecting to get to the finals. So I don't want to say I'm happy to be here because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not counting this season as a disappointment or a loss whatsoever because I think the chemistry in this team is just going to get better and they're kind of going to grow as one for next season. But now that we're here, like, hey, let's go fucking win something and get some shots to fall. So I think that ultimately I'm not optimistic, but I'm not panicked yet. And I
Okay.
think
Okay.
that ultimately if you got to win game three and you got to
Oh,
win game four.
absolutely.
You have to win both at home. You have to win both at home because you need some sort of momentum and just you need guys like Kyrie needs to have a 35-point game or a 30-point game. He needs to see shots fall.
Yeah.
PJ Washington, I thought he played pretty well in game two. I think he had like 17. I think he had 17 in game two on 46% shooting. I would like to get that a little bit higher, and I mean he was 1 of 5 from three. So I mean if he could just hit 40% of his threes, that's fine with me. And it feels like early on he was just so automatic from like Luka would drive, kick out to that corner three to PJ, and it would just fall for PJ. But now, just for whatever reason, it's just not falling. So just stuff like that, I think would ultimately help. It's just Luka's got to have some kind of help. He's got to have some sort of help, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, and then we have to give flowers to the Boston Celtics defense. I
Absolutely,
think
100%.
we definitely a little bit underestimated. I don't know about y'all, or maybe just again like too confident on your team or too optimistic about what was going to happen, and you're just excited to be in the moment, be in the NBA Finals. But yeah, this Celtics team, they're the clear favorites. They were the clear favorites at the beginning for a reason. They're just, man, oh man, they have a good team all around. You talk about Jason Tatum doing all this, and I want to be upset about it, but I'm not, because it seems like all of NBA fans on social media, at least, are seeing this. They're seeing that Jason Tatum is not. I mean, obviously he's an all-star caliber player. I mean, don't get me wrong, clearly.
Yeah.
But when it matters the most, they can
He's
see
not
it, and they're still giving Luka his props.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. Jumping into conclusions, if Jason Tatum gets his ring over Luka, in front of Luka, okay, fine. No way in hell he gets MVP for finals.
Absolutely.
There's just no way he does. And if he's smart, Jason Tatum will keep averaging whatever he's averaging right now. He's not going to try to do too much, even though when he says that, I don't have to score if I don't have to, even though he was trying to score, he just couldn't score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to keep doing this. He was I think a rebound short or assist short from a triple-double. Okay, cool. But for his team's sake, if he wants to win, he needs to keep what he's doing. But if somehow he just thinks he can just not do that and try to get the points himself because he's letting the media and everyone else around him get to him. Because I thought it was just funny with the whole Jason Kidd situation, how Jason Kidd said, yeah, Jaylen Brown's their best player. And everyone's like, oh, how do you feel about that? It looks like he's trying to play mind games. And it's like, no, dude, it's literally what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah, I told you in the last podcast, I said Jaylen Brown, if anyone has the dog in him on that team. And you saw him with the drive-by dunks and just his defense on Kyrie and Luka. My goodness gracious. Jaylen Brown's a dog. He's a dog, and he's, I think, finally getting recognized as that. And and Tatum is not. So that's why I'm like okay with it. Like, okay, so if they do win, it was more so going to hurt a lot more if Tatum won his ring in front of Luka and like outplayed Luka.
Yeah,
but that's not the case.
I don't know, and I think that it won't happen. But I think Luka has been the best player in this series. At least on the offensive side. I mean,
offensive end. Yeah, let's not talk about the defense. Let's not talk about the defense.
Defense hasn't been good, but also he's more hurt now than he has been in the playoffs.
Yep.
With the chest contusion. The chest contusion or whatever. And so, I mean, and then he's kind of having to carry so much of the load offensively that he's just a passenger on the defensive side. You kind of look back to the Clippers series and you saw like how locked in Luka got on the defensive end and just like how special that was. But I mean, ultimately, right? Like he's hurt. He's not 100% healthy yet. I don't want to claim that he was 100% healthy against the Clippers, but he was damn sure closer to that than he is now. So, I think that ultimately Luka's he's got to keep doing what he's doing and he needs some sort of help. And I think that on the Celtics side, I think that's the beauty of how their team has been constructed. I mean, they have 6 guys if you count Al Horford.
6 guys.
That really could be like, that are all-star level players that, can contribute and, play really well and they play good defense and, Joe Mazzulla is a great coach. It's just, it sucks that the Mavs are just not firing and not clicking on all cylinders when, they were the last 3 series really. So, I don't know, man. I think that ultimately, we were in game 2. We probably could have won that for sure.
I think that's a game you have to do. You had to take that game. The Mavericks lost that game.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately, like you see the run that we start making towards the end of the game, the questionable push in the back foul on PJ Wash. Was it PJ on the open dunk?
Yeah, it was.
but like still ultimately like he was rejected by the rim, so I think he jumped too early. So like either way, like I don't think it was going in, but had he got up, got enough elevation, ball goes in, and he gets the and one, that takes it to a 2 point game, a 3 point game with
Hmm.
35, 40 seconds to go, 20 seconds to go. So like there's still some sort of chance at that point, but man, it sucks, and it's kind of like a woulda, coulda, shoulda. But um, really, I don't know, man. All you can hope is that Mavs kind of rebound and get back to shooting well, and I think a little home cooking that'll do just right. That'll do just right.
Yeah, I want to hope that's the case in this scenario where, I mean, we're not completely like done and dusted. I mean, it's only
No,
happened
no.
5 times in the NBA Finals where a team goes down 2-0.
One
Earliest
was
as you
against
could
the Mavs.
recall. Yeah, once against the Mavs, 2006 against the Heat. Or no,
Yeah,
yeah, right, '06 against the
yeah,
Heat.
against the Heat.
Yeah, against the Heat. That happened to your Dallas Mavericks. So they've been on the other side of it, sadly.
Yep.
There's also recently was the Bucks versus the Suns. So the Suns went up 2-0 against the Bucks. Bucks won 4 straight. And then the famous, I want to say it was 2016 when
Yeah,
Kyrie was on that team. So Kyrie's been on the team where he's gone 0-2 down. And I think you might have sent a tweet where he was even as bad or even worse in
yeah.
those first 2
So
games.
so yeah, with the Cavs in 2016 and I think 2017, it was the two finals that he went to with the Cavs. He in games one and two, I think he averaged like 14 or so points. Shot horribly, played horribly, and then games 3 through 7 or 3 through whatever, that man he just turns it on and flips the switch and he's going. So, I mean, there's
Yeah.
a little bit of hope to where the fact that the like Kyrie can just get it going. He can, I mean, he's such a skilled offensive player that he just needs to get in a rhythm, dude. He just needs to get in a rhythm, and I'm I don't know. It was just so weird watching because I feel like it just that wasn't Kyrie Irving that was playing, and I don't know if it was the fact that it's in Boston and it's just like still playing with his mind or something, but like
Mm-hmm.
you could tell like he's usually not one to get distracted or like get
Yeah.
bothered by just circumstances around him, and it kind of was like that old Kyrie was back to where you could tell he was just frustrated, and just like stuff wasn't like shots weren't falling, people weren't supporting him,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, it sucks, but I think that we're going to be all right. Game two, game three, or game three, game four. You'll be able to tell if Kyrie could start going early and kind of take a little bit of that offensive load off of Luka and let Luka go for
Oh
20
yeah.
and let Kyrie
Mm-hmm.
go for 35 plus. Like we're going to be okay. We're
Man.
going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's just
again, yeah, you have to give props to the Celtics defense because on top of that, of your guys not performing, I mean the Celtics are making it easier on you.
yeah,
I mean, like you said, the coach Mazzulla is doing a great job. He's out coaching Kid right now. Hopefully, I mean, also again working on those damn free throws. Because I know this. I mean, Celtics do have a lot of free throws, but I mean they're making their damn free throws. I mean, it was a difference maker. I
yeah.
think you said what we missed 6 or 7. That was what we lost by.
We missed 8 free throws and we lost by
There we
7.
go. Yeah. So
And
make
then
your
the
damn free
Celtics
throws.
the Celtics missed 1 free throw. So
Free throws matter. I mean,
it matters.
free
Yeah, it
throws matter.
matters.
Yeah, and in this
But I mean,
case,
the
it's
bad thing is
just
like
throws for the Mavericks. But
four of those misses was from Luca, 3 were from Daniel Gafford, and 1 was from Josh Green. So
it's okay the Gafford ones because he's a center, but Luca's really who I'm pointing
yeah,
at.
Luca's
Is that
Luca's
Luca's got to
gotta
make his damn
like
free throws?
he's gotta
Yeah.
make those free throws. But yeah, man, I think yeah, you got anything else from games 1 and 2? I think we can talk a little game 3 and 4. If you're
No,
ready.
that's really it. Again, I mean, it was just really good defense.
Yeah,
You should take advantage of that game two. Again, you got to give props to the Mavericks too. I mean, or more so the Celtics were not there because the worrisome thing that I see from game two, and it's the last thing I'll say about game two, and we can transition to game three, is that the Celtics were getting open looks.
yeah, and they weren't making
It's
them.
not like
They
it was
just weren't making them.
contested threes. There were some open looks
Yeah,
that they were just not falling for them. So that might be a little worrisome. That should have been the
yeah,
game you take away because they weren't on it and they were consistently still committing to that three ball if it was open, which as any NBA team should, especially in the playoffs.
Yep.
And after their like really crappy start, I mean they did have a crappy start. They were like 0 for like 11, I think, on threes, and they still outscored you in threes. Like they still had more threes made than you did. So that just shows you if
Yeah.
they were shit. Yeah, come on, look yourself in the mirror and see
Imagine.
what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
I had one final point that I wanted to make was something, and I don't remember, so it must have not been important. But now
Clearly.
is a good time to take a break, acknowledge our sponsors. That way we can thank them for all the great stuff that they do for us. So we will be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
And we are back, guys. Thank you so much to our great sponsors for everything they do to support the pod. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. So, moving along to game three. Game three is today, as you're listening, this will be published on Wednesday. Right now, the line is surprisingly, I was kind of shocked. Mavs are favored by 2.5, which is kind of crazy to me because Celtics were favored by 6.5 in games 1 and 2 at home. So it looks like they're saying that home court is like 4 points, almost something crazy like that. 8 points, I think actually. I don't know, something like that. But
Yeah.
I can't do the math on it. But anyway. Yeah, 2.5 over under is 212. I don't know, man. I something about it. I feel like I've been somber about games 1 and games 2, but now I'm like starting to like convince myself. I'm getting that optimism to where I just feel like the writing is on the wall that the Mavs are about to blow out the Celtics, and they're about to be like, hey, like we haven't even talked about Kristaps. Kristaps is hurt. He has like some Harry Potter skull in his ankle. That's like some ankle sprain. I don't know, something like that. So he's day to day, not necessarily 100%.
He said he'll die though on that court, allegedly.
Where was that? Where was that, Kristaps? Where was that,
I don't know.
Kristaps in Dallas?
I don't know.
But yeah, man, I think that ultimately, I think coming back home is exactly what the Mavericks needed. I think that they're going to be in a comfortable environment. They're going to be around an atmosphere that's going to be electric. Luka's going to be able to he was able to get 3 days of rest because game was on Sunday, not a Wednesday, which will kind of help hopefully. I think Kyrie is able to get back home in his home environment, have his family with him, which I know his wife, daughter, and dad sit courtside at the Mavs games, which I guarantee you that they don't go to Boston with him just after all the stuff that happened in Boston. So I would bet that, like, if I were to bet on like a prop, I would whatever Kyrie's over under is, that's what I would hit. But I just have such a feeling that Kyrie's gonna go and he's basically gonna be like, hey, like he's gonna kind of take over, and everything that we were expecting him to happen is kind of what we were expecting. So I think that ultimately, I would say like my overall prediction for this is Mavs like 118, Celtics 105, maybe a little 13-point dub. I say blowout, but like that's in the finals aspect. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Hello?
Wait, sorry, go again? Can I hear you now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Was I just rambling? You couldn't hear me?
Hold on, give me a second. Sorry. What happened? Wait, hello?
It's because you took your headphones out. Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah.
It's because you took your headphones out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. I was rambling
What were you
there
asking?
for a second.
What were
I
you
saw you turn your mic off. What was I saying? I was kind of rambling. Game 3 prediction. What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Oh, game 3. I hope you're right that they just have to come home, and that environment. Hopefully, they can get that Lob City threat again. I don't know how many times I can say it, but props to the Celtics defense that just took that away, absolutely. You saw a little bit more on game 3 or game 2 with
Yeah.
Gaffer,
Daniel Gafford.
Lively.
Yeah, I feel like Daniel
Yeah,
Gafford probably
also
played the
he had
best
a, he
playoff
had a
game that
really
he's
good
played in a
game.
while. Yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
maybe that's good positive because, like I said, I don't know if I'm just too nitpicky on him, but I really haven't seen him explode as much as I've wanted him to. Um,
Yep.
Also, on offensive rebounds, man, we're getting crushed on those. So hopefully, they're working on boxing out because it just seemed like every offensive rebound was going to an open Celtic somehow, some way, some form, and you gotta stop Drew Holiday.
Yeah, and I and
Yeah.
I feel like those offensive rebounds is kind of more or less like it feels like the Celtics are just wanting it more, and it's almost like the Mavs just it could be just a fundamental difference to like the game plan of the Mavericks to where like the
Oh yeah.
Mavs just like coach to they get a shot up, hey, let that offensive rebound come, doesn't matter. Like they're gonna have one guy back, and it feels like I feel like every time I see the Celtics get an offensive rebound, it's like three Mavs players around like a Drew Holiday, and somehow Drew Holiday ends up with the ball, or
Hmm.
Derek White, or Jaylen Brown. So it's just I would definitely like see a little bit more effort on that offensive glass because I think that's I mean just the amount of second chance points, it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
No, yeah. I think it's. I think a lot more so you saw in games 1 and 2 that the Celtics just really wanted it more. I mean, they showed it.
Yeah, yeah,
They just wanted more, fighting for the ball, doing all this. You got to have Kleba be somewhat of a threat. You got to have Derrick Jones Jr. be somewhat of a threat because the Celtics aren't giving them much respect, and as they should, respectfully. The
yeah.
only people
No,
that they're
you're right.
respecting right now is, I mean, Kyrie. I was gonna say Ronaldo for some reason. Kyrie, Luka Doncic, and PJ around the 3-point line because they
Yeah,
know he sees one go down and it's gonna be a long
it's
night
three
for them.
wraps.
But I mean, you have to win. You must absolutely have to win today. I'm gonna say the Mavs win. They'll cover. They're 2.5 points.
Yeah, they'll cover 2.5 for
So
sure.
yeah, and just
Do you
because they
think?
have to.
What do you think is more beneficial to the Mavs mentality? Do you think it's Mavs winning in a blowout, or do you think it's Mavs winning a close game?
I mean, if you ask me to pick, obviously I think you want the blowout, but for men's, I
Like
think you
not
want to do
from
the
a
close.
fan
Yeah, yeah,
standpoint,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but like what helps gives them more confidence.
I guess I'll go with the close game. Like I said, yeah, from a fan perspective and just a team wise, like yeah, you want the blowout just so you don't have to worry about anything in the clutch in the fourth. Um, but we clearly saw them do that all in the Minnesota series. I mean, it was.
Yep.
I don't want to say it was like a coin flip in most of those
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
but it could have been. I
Yeah.
mean, it
100%.
could have been easily. It was just
Yeah.
whoever was clutcher, and Luca, Kyrie, PJ, whoever you wanted to was the clutcher
That
team.
was on. Yeah, they
The
were
clutcher,
on.
yeah, everybody was on. So I think for like actually for themselves in general, mentally, obviously showing that they can win a close game against the Celtics, that they can still close it out, that Kyrie is just in a funk. It's not the whole Celtics thing getting to him. Then yeah, I think that would be more influential to them mentally. So
Yeah. And I think that it almost like these close games are kind of more they almost like kill they kind of kill the will more than like a blowout does. Because I think in a blowout, you can kind of be like, it just wasn't all right. Just shot like shit, like is what it is.
yeah,
But a close game, like there's no excuses, right? Like we played, we did everything we could to win.
yeah,
And they just in the closing moments, like they just had it and we didn't.
yeah,
Um, and that, yeah, I think obviously, right from a fan perspective, it's a lot more fun to have a blowout and be like, oh, we just like look
yeah,
good. But I think
yeah.
ultimately that close game is something that kind of instills, I think, confidence in
Yeah.
the Mavericks, and that's kind of something that they need right now. So I don't know, man. I don't necessarily personally, I don't want to see a good close game because that's a lot of stress to have on a Wednesday
I would
night.
say yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like a
Yeah,
close game can be fun if you're on the right end of it.
on the right
But if
end
you're on
of
the
it.
wrong end of
Yeah,
it, yeah, no, absolutely not. It proves me more and more because after a little bit, I did think that Luka really wasn't that clutch. I thought he needed more time than he
oh, that's
did
fair.
to create his own shot, this and that, and he just keeps proving me wrong of how damn clutch he is. Just making these threes on defensive player of the years. All these guys making him look silly. So, I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that we saw from him. Even Luka was hitting some crazy shots that I had no idea he had in him. Some one-legged threes, some spins, some twirls, some I don't know, but yeah. I mean, you absolutely have to win Game 3, no matter how you do it. But yeah, winning a close one will definitely help out tremendously, just because it can show you that, let's say they're on their game, you're on your game, that you can still go toe for toe with Goliath. I'd want to say right here.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately you're right? Like the Mavs clearly are the underdog in the series. I mean, for as many people picked the Mavericks to win, but like
surprisingly,
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I guess final thought is the last I had sent this to you. I remember my thought from earlier.
Okay.
It was the last time the Mavs went down 0-2 in the playoffs against a 64-18 team was 2022 Western Conference Finals Game 7 win against the Phoenix Suns. So it's not uncommon. I mean, it's Luka's seen this before. Who else was on that team? Maxey and Dwight Powell, Jaden Hardy. Like these guys have seen this before. Tim Hardaway's seen it before. I don't know, man. It's just something about Luka is you always feel some sort of confidence and some sort of hope when you have the best player on the court. And with Luka Doncic on your team, I think that you're always going to have the best player on the court. It's just the matter of can your secondary and tertiary guys step up, and that's when you need Kyrie to step up. That's when you need PJ to take over a game and score 20. Derek Jones Jr. to make a shot. Dante Exum got a little bit more run this last game, which Luka said he appreciated.
Shit.
Yeah, which I mean, Luka said he appreciated because that's another ball handler that takes the ball out of his hands for a little bit. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I think that there's a little bit of confidence to be had, but you have to win a game and you have to look convincing, and you need some sort of hope because if you lose this game, it's toast. It's done. It's season over.
Yeah. I hope they're not. Obviously, I mean they're professionals. Let's not start even thinking about Game 4. Worry about tonight's game. Worry about tonight's game. Win tonight, and no need to panic. I mean, it's just another game.
No.
It's just another game.
Another game.
You're at home with your
out there,
fans.
win a game.
Nothing better. You get to go home and sleep in your own bed, and it will be a lot much better if you win that game. So please,
Absolutely.
I beg that, Jason Kidd, you got something planned for us. That I don't know. Just please. I can't have a sweep. Just please.
No. Yeah. No. Sweep or gentlemen's. I don't want it. So, but yeah, man. I think that's short and sweet today. You got any other thoughts? I mean, I know the Rangers are going. Copa America is about to start, but I mean, it's not really the big point of what's going on, at least in our eyes right now.
Yeah. No, definitely not right now. I do feel a little bit bad. Not paying attention too much to the Rangers, but it's okay. They're not doing anything special, guys. I promise you.
Yeah.
We'll get back into them normally because, I mean, hopefully after our next podcast will most likely be filmed on Tuesday, so uploaded on Wednesday again, so a week from today. And hopefully there is... How many games?
Yeah, that's after game. That'd be after Game 5. So I mean, hopefully it's 3-2 Mavs going to Game 6 at home.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. So yeah, that's when the next podcast comes out. But yeah, nothing crazy with the Rangers guys. I mean, they're just depleted, hurt. They have a very important series coming up this weekend. They're about they just first pitch just came out against the Dodgers, so they're gonna be a late start over there. 3 against the Dodgers, very tough team.
They're down 3-0.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Smith, home run. Yeah.
Gosh.
I'm Dane Dunning.
Yeah, it's Dane Dunning on the
Anyway, yeah, it's tough. That's tough. I think White
and then you have
starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, that too. He's getting some extra base hits. And then you have Seattle, the division leaders at the end of the weekend. So that's gonna be even tough.
That'd be big if we can win that series. If we win that series, that's big.
Yeah, because the Mariners are playing the White Sox, I think, right now for 3. So those should be for sure games. So they're like 16 and like 50.
Yeah.
So it's 5.5 right now. I think is what the gap in between the Mariners and the Rangers. And it could be pretty bad after this weekend. So,
but it could be pretty good. It could be
but
pretty
it also
good.
could be pretty good. Could also be pretty good.
So
And more on that, and probably next episode or maybe the one after that, because hopefully your Mavericks are still in the NBA Finals.
yeah, that'd be nice. So, but all right, guys, that's it. Nice, short, sweet episode today, in and out. Again, thank you guys so much for checking us out. We are glad to be a little bit more in a routine. Kind of, weekly episodes again and posting and stuff like that. So Oliver's doing a good job, cranking out some content.
Right.
But yeah, guys, speaking of the content, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Austin_and_Ollie, TikTok at Austin and Ollie, all one word. All that stuff is in the show notes, so definitely check us out. All your podcast platforms, YouTube, make sure you subscribe, rate 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, checking out our beautiful mugs, give us a like, hit us with a comment. We appreciate the comments and we appreciate interacting with you guys. So it's fun. Twitter, if you see us popping around on Twitter, make sure you reply and all that stuff. So with that, guys, it's been another episode of Austin and Ollie, a sports podcast. Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll see you guys next time when the Mavs are up 3-2, getting ready to clinch in Game 6 at home. So until next time, goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here.